Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off you to a glorious 1v1 on Langraskaya. In the north, it is Tiramisu, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 5th Armored Division with Airborne, tactical support, and recon support. In the south, it is the Angry Dutchman, fighting for the Oberkommandus, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 2nd Panzerdivision featuring Luftwaffe ground forces with heavy fortifications, smoke bombs, Fallschirmjägers, Valiant Assault, and Airborne Assault. We got a full second Kuwait start fighting with the Archer versus double rafts today for Tiramisu. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my own company heroes, my patron supporters. Without them and their support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to all those other people who joined the ranks by pledge on Patreon. In this regard, also big thanks to Warlord MSM for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his own hard-earned money. Big thanks to you, Warlord. Other people can join his glorious and noble example for donating as well by PayPal. Links are in the video description. And finally, just comment, like, share, subscribe. Press the bell button. Helps out a bit there indirectly as well. So, off to the races we are here. Tiramisu with a hard eastern swing here for freedom and democracy. Setting up secure on the eastern fuel point. Meanwhile, we got Angry Dutchman with an angry western push here. The Kuban, of course, going for the hard left flank there, grabbing points as swiftly as it can, making use of a higher capping speed than other units. And, of course, just high speed in general. So, quickly moving and grab a lot of territory there. Thumbs up to the Angry Dutchman. We got a 3rd route squad there for Tiramisu, freedom and democracy. Here we got some sandbags down as Angry Dutchman, of course, prepares for future combat around here. Not a bad idea at all here. But why with tank traps in these first shots fired here, the route squad catches the Sturmpioneer here as to try to fire off the entrance to the house there. And then can finish it from inside the building because sometimes this game gets a bit weird. So, Arthur, yeah, how can he finish the fire from inside the house? Well, you know, German science. Yes, this isn't a comic, Friedrich. Anyways, Resistance there flanking around the full of the rifle and getting from the front. Typically prefer it the other way around, but Resistance can still do work, in particular the volley fire, or, you know, just charging in with M1 carbines. That's it. Second full squad moving in for Angry Dutchman, flanking the reactions there, go quickly turn their guns on them, allowing the route squad not charging. We've also got another squad moving Kuban there, it's keeping a bit in check. We've got a 3rd route squad there. Full squad pushed back, ultimately though, by sheer weight of arms there, by Tiramisu on the center. Kuban is also quick to dive away there to avoid getting turned into a scrapwagen. Back here, 3rd full squad almost done for Tiramisu. I would not be surprised by seeing some tech. Yes, indeed, it is the platoon command post with the lieutenant on the way. Sturmpioneer could consider laying down a mine here. We'll fix up the Kugelwagen, I guess. But why up here? That way denying easy access to cover here for the Angry Dutchman forces in future engagements there. Smart move by Tiramisu. Thumbs up. Standoff around the center community between the Angry Dutchman and Tiramisu. Whoops. Lieutenant almost done here. More Fultons going in here for the Angry Dutch, giving for another push for the center. Kuban diving in, Sturmpioneer charging in there, full of fury. Believe in Das Vaterland here. That's it. They kind of stop out, I think, an awkward angle here. They've also got Fultons supporting here, so might just be able to work it out. That set the Sturmpioneer are paying a pretty high price for the assault. And ultimately, though, Tiramisu does not budge. He does not move one step away there. With an ambulance way there for Tiramisu. Plus, we got the Lieutenant here, trot on the way there for the Angry Dutchman. Ralph's called backing off as the ultimate are up at this point played out so much that any continued fighting here would just be, quite frankly, insensible here for Tiramisu, a waste of American lives. Which is more the goal of Angry Dutchman, not so much Tiramisu here. Lieutenant moving forwards here, ready to stop a crowd advance here from the Angry Dutchman. Ralph's call that's been played out. Lieutenant charging in there with his Thompson here, ripping through those goddamn crowds. Like there's something to rip through. And there you go, full squad rapted here. Again, high DPS, particularly with Lieutenant Thompson. Overwhelms the full squad in a matter of seconds. And we got Tiramisu here hitting Angry Dutchman with a fast M20 utility car here. A bold strategy there by Tiramisu. Can definitely work against the Oberkommandus if they're not ready for it. In particular, if they don't have like a fast truck up with Panzerfaust. So bold, very bold. We got the truck moving about him. Guessing that could have been a rally point here. Yup. So Angry Dutchman forgot to change it. So the trucks just went off on like a fairly significant detour. 20 almost done there. Grabbing the eastern pond here and laying down some sandbags, preparing for future engagements. Very smart there, of course, from Angry Dutch. Between now his opponents, you know, wired off most of the other cover. Look, I told you to bring the wire cutters, man. 9. You said we don't need wire cutters. The Americans are too stupid to use wire. And now look at this. They place it everywhere. My God, this is the last time I listened to you, Friedrich. Grand Western Point here. Kuwait up the eastern side here for the angry Dutchman. Close being calling the Fallschirmjäger, and we got Mechanized Regiment here. Seems to be getting slightly more popular as of late here with the Oberkommand West Mechanized Regiment Fallschirmjäger strategies, allowing you to go for more heavy Mechanized Regiment and then using the Fallschirmjägers as some elite assault infantry support your light vehicles. So, interesting move here with the angry Dutchman, and again, seems to be a trend here in Oberkommand West metagame as of late. Volkswagen of Rifle Squad is 40, backed up by the 3rd Rifle Squad there. So far, Tiramisu Center would be ready for that. Of course, he does have the M20 utility card here. And if he starts laying down mines, I could actually really throw a big wrench into Angry Dutchman's plans. That said, of course, if Tiramisu, of course, is aware of this, seeing the Fallschirmjägers could out already by now be a pretty big giveaway to him that Angry Dutch is actually going for Mechanized Regiment. We'll have to see, but there you go. Aggressive drop here with the Fallschirmjägers. Not quite a crate drop, but, you know, certainly close here. Ralph got made by the Fallschirmjägers with FT-42's got a geballte Ladung as well. Here, close one there, but only gets a single kill. You may argue, of course, was that worth it or not? I'm not so sure about that. And it's M20 firing away with this 5th cal there mounted on the top. Looks like he's going to try and do as much damage to the Fallschirmjäger as he can. We'll also probably spot the Mechanized Regiment soon. Of course, the Mechanized Regiment also means he gets immediate access to the Panzerfaust for having to go for any additional upgrades. So, at this point, I've fairly certain Tiramisu has seen the Angry Dutchman's Mechanized Regiment, and so, of course, will be aware of the possibility of down the looks of Puma here from the Angry Dutchman. We'll have to see how he responds to this, as several paths here Tiramisu could take. Bazookas, mines, Steward, a load of 50 cals, Captain Inter tank guns, Airborne Inter tank guns. I mean, there are numerous options here for Tiramisu to pursue versus the Angry Dutchman. But of course, I've seen, of course, depends on what the Angry Dutchman does. But so far, well, he has gone for the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. He has yet to go for neither the looks or the Puma. Okay, there we go. Goes for the Puma, the 234-2 heavy armored car. Sturmpeony flying into the rear of the M20 utility car. Puma 1/3 of the way done. Fallschirmjägers, they need reinforcement. They need that 3rd guy. And there you go. Mine goes off the utility car, better blow that to Tiramisu, and he didn't have any mines down himself. Puma at this point could arguably be not wildly redundant, but perhaps mildly redundant, because if, say, Tiramisu then doesn't go for any light vehicle for some time, it's not like the Puma's going to be useless against the infantry, but arguably having a looks here then would of course be much better. All the way though, hard blow to Tiramisu, his troops are in route as well. They're almost getting some wipes here, but fortune doesn't quite deliver easy ones there for the Angry Dutchman after getting rid of that M20. In the center, we got full of the rifle squad here. Back here, the Puma is ready, the 234-2 heavy armored car. One of overall 4 variants to the 234 armored car. Only the -2 by this version was known as the Puma. And Tiramisu in a bold response goes for number 20, number 2, but upon seeing the Puma, very wisely cancels it. So it's worth noting he briefly considered the captain here, but has actually decided not to. In fact, he's going to go for weapon racks, most likely for bazookas to counter the Puma then. So he probably won't go for light vehicles anytime soon, so that means the Puma, of course, effectively, could argue still is doing some purpose, obviously ensuring that Tiramisu isn't going for light vehicles, which is good. But in terms like otherwise damage impact, it's going to be a bit more limited. It is not amazing versus infantry like say the looks. Well, that's more like good. Anyways, pulling up in game, Leerson's quickly blowing Bob out of the way there. Specifically his head. Remediation point here. Fallschirmjäger moving up here. Angry Dutchman at this point could of course consider a second Fallschirmjäger squad. I mean, having 2 Fallschirmjäger squads would give Angry Dutchman a fairly significant elite assault component here. Versus Tiramisu, that could allow for some pretty strong pushes here. But of course, it's one thing to have the option, of course, another thing to consider it. And certainly, you may also just want to take up faster, go for looks or support weapons. But there's a part of me that definitely would suggest us having 2 Fallschirmjäger squads out. And it looks like Angry Dutchman was thinking in similar lines as me and calls in a second Fallschirmjäger squad here. That will definitely be a bit more of a challenge here than for Tiramisu's infantry. Unless, of course, upgrade it, because unupgraded, the Fallschirmjägers, particularly with some experience, can really, dismember Tiramisu's rifle squads fairly expertly. We do get a bazooka team as well to help deal with the Puma. We'll have to see if he commits to more bazookas down the road. Most likely, but he may not. With the sandbags on the center. East side here, we got the Sturmpionier, but Kuban was the lieutenant here in the east. Second Foxman went to the center here. And the lieutenant got forgotten here by Tiramisu and wiped out. That's definitely painful here for Tiramisu. Losing the lieutenant, of course, is an excellent infantry unit there. Hurts, but in particular now at this point where Angry Dutchman is pouring in even more infantry here versus Tiramisu. This is quite devastating. Got to the Tiramisu's rushing for the major. He's going to try and push for some armor here versus the Angry Dutchman in hopes of that way turning the tide. I think that's actually a pretty smart move. Angry Dutchman, meanwhile, looks like it's going to take up here. Not a bad idea either. Can allow for Fudgemix to be upgraded because also means armor, and certainly there's an opponent's like rushing tanks against him. Having tanks around to respond to that with is a pretty good idea. Meanwhile, though, we got the Fudgemakers up here with their Car-9 TKs and their FT-42s tearing into the Americans there with accurate assault fire. In the east side here, Ralph Squad forming up a defensive point in there. Good. The Kuberban goes down. A bit of a slope there by the Angry Dutchman. Easy kill here for Tiramisu, freedom and democracy. Bazooka's firing all over the place here. Truckman forwards there. Did he forget it again? He's 1810 this time, so don't around there. We'll have to see. Fudgemakers firing the cover, slowly exploding in the face of the bazookas. And Tiramisu is yet to go for a commander. He is yet to make a decision. And just as I say that he does go for Airborne, probably why he didn't go for the captain in the end. He can just airdrop the anti-tank guns. Plus, in this case, call in some paratroopers with light machine guns. I think apply more pressure here to the Angry Dutchman. Meaning we're getting a good old-fashioned Airborne versus Fallschirmjäger fight. Fight with the Ralph Squad there. West side, we've got the Schwerpunkt calls up at the western field point. Coming as the echelons. On the east side, we've got the Fallschirmjägers, the paratroopers. Quick kill there on the paratroopers with the FT-42s. That's it, they're all on health. There's no cover. At least none they can use. They're currently forced back with the paratroopers with the M1 carbines. Can of course have Thompsons, but more than likely he's just going to go for the light machine guns because it is an excellent upgrade. Ralph Squad pushing up through the eastern side here, like going to swing up behind the Sturmpionier to increase the chance of wipe there. And Tiramisu's first unit is not a Sherman or a tank, it's in fact a Scot. He's kind of expecting, something to help deal with a Puma. But certainly the Scot is also an excellent choice versus infantry and support weapons. But kind of vulnerable to the Puma as well. So there's definitely some issues there with it. No authorization yet here. And of course now, Angry Dutchman can add as a second set of FT-42s to his Fallschirmjäger squads. And he's in the process of doing so. Very good. Less so for Tiramisu's infantry. West side we got the Major, the Ralph Squad force here, pressuring the left flank here of the Angry Dutchman. And the 2nd Panzerdivision, 5th Panzergrenadier Company here. With some support here from the nearby 3rd Fallschirmjäger Regiment. As well as several Fallschirmjäger units fighting in Normandy, where they pretty much just fought as elite infantry divisions. Doing no real airdrop operations there. Pushing forward here with the FT-42s against Ralph Squad there. And those Ralph Squads will not be able to maintain position for long there. The edge being absolutely dismembered here in the center. You can see there's just so much firepower, not just for the Fallschirmjäger, the Fallschirmjägers with their assault rifles as well, but certainly the Fallschirmjägers, I would say, the prime source of DPS. And there we go. Now also prime time for the Scot. There's so much bunched up. He clearly wasn't expecting a Scot rush here from Tiramisu, which of course is how Tiramisu's prime. There you go. Puma makes a mistake that drives right in front of the anti-tank Ralph Squad there. With the rough grenade, messed up there. Either way, the damage into the Puma here, preventing him from rushing the Scot here. Did get some damage in, but right now, Angry Dutchman only has the Puma to deal with the Scot in like any sort of flexible capacity here. We got 5 kills on it so far. We got the Puma ready again, and the Sturmpionier, we're able to quickly get it fixed here. Thumbs up, going for the Puma there, or the Scot. But there you go. Lots of fire here on this Puma. Almost takes it out, forcing Angry Dutchman to quickly withdraw it again for repairs. We got grenades off here with the paratroopers, but it is expertly dodged at the Angry Dutchman Sturmpionier. Fallschirmjäger's not in great position either against unit heavy cover being out in the open, or light cover is not great here for the Fallschirmjägers. Never mind how low both of the squads now got. They are on health. They need to retreat now for reinforcements, and I would also argue a bit of healing maybe as well. Again, over the Angry Dutchman obviously responds here to the Scot. And plus any more potential armor here from Tiramisu, fixing up the Scot here. Interesting enough that the crew is not joining in on that. And Again, Tiramisu briefly considering the captain, but decides against it. There's clearly some hesitation there for Tiramisu. That was a lot of misclicks. Can't rule that one out, I guess. Puma there, veterans he won with 6 kills. Scott at the ready as well. We got 439 to 314 so far. Angry Dutchman has a nice way 2-point lead on Tiramisu here. Mechanized regiment at the ready. Bit of quiet here between the Americans and the Germans. We got the 2 fights to make a squad to the red as well here. I mean, he's got a lot of infantry, but we're looking at a total of 6 infantry squads. Though that said, 4 here for Tiramisu, so it's not like he's entirely behind, but he could maybe do with another squad here unless he really gets some quick kills on the Scott. There we go, Puma Scott dueling again here, and neither side really landing any hits anywhere. But there you go, Fox comes in to assist alongside the Sturmpioneer. A significant chunk of the assault and there will be a bit of a task for the Ralph squad to come, particularly since this particular one isn't even upgraded with, you know, BARs. Scott moving forward again to 5 kills and 1 Fulton is Fox moving forward. Note in this case, he's moving the Fulton ahead first here to draw the fire away from the Fallschirmjägers. That is very smart here. Thumbs up to the Angry Dutchman rather than leaving, you know, the more elite but also more expensive Fallschirmjägers draw the fire. He leaves the larger squad more durable and tough that way, but also less expensive squad to, like, you know, take the initial brunt of the attack. That said, second Fallschirmjäger squad should maybe be able to fill up better, I think, here for Angry Dutchman. So not all perfect. And we got a second paired squad for Tiramisu, so he's up to 5 squads for this. Thumbs up. Going to be a fairly infantry heavy, but also elite infantry heavy match here. Both sides pairs are being now met with too much firepower. Tiramisu very wisely withdraws them for replacements before they get completely wiped out. Second squad ready, consuming equipped with light machine guns, which is most likely to go for. They're getting equipped with the Thompsons. We got a Panther 4 there for the Angry Dutchman. No sign of additional army for Tiramisu. Could be another Scott, but certainly a Sherman would be a nice idea. Or Jackson. East side here, Fulton's routed. A lot of action here, a lot of back and forth between Angry Dutchman and Tiramisu. And there you go, a deep flanking of Ralph squad catches Angry Dutchman's Puma off guard and successfully damages his engine with an anti-tank rifle grenade. Smart play there by Tiramisu. Thumbs up. Meanwhile, troops pouring through the centre here as the Angry Dutchman and the 2nd Panzerdivision is forced to withdraw for now. West side, you got the Fulton catching Ralph squad there, but we are met with more troops here. And there you go, the paratroopers coming in with M1 carbines, and again, very close to the light machine guns. There we go. Can equip them also with a set of Browning light machine guns. Scott at the ready. There we go. More light machine guns there for Tiramisu. Panther moving forwards for Deutschland. That's going to be a problem there for the infantry, since Tiramisu again only has a pair of bazookas right now, so he does lack something to, like, significantly deal with the Panther 4 unless Angry Dutchman significantly misplaces Panther 4, which, you know, is possible but very unlikely with a, you know, player of Angry Dutchman's caliber. Very unlikely. Got the Jackson tanks on there for Tiramisu in response to the Panther 4. Puma and the Center still busy. Got 7 kills, half H-52. There you go, Ralph holding flank with the Panther 4. Rogers and Williams getting blown to parts here by the Panther 4. East we got troops loading up again, bombarded here by the Scott. Eastern side, more troops moving up here, looking to threaten Tiramisu's fuel point. Puma could move into support here, I think, but clearly he's very focused on the center here and might arguably be slightly less tactical flexible because of this heavy focus on the center here versus Tiramisu. Jackson almost done there. And we got an airdrop anti-tank gun. Angry Dutchman with the Battle Group headquarters for healing. Could also indicate that Angry Dutchman's next move might now be to solve for the King Tiger, which could work out, but, you know, with these kind of like massive delays and resource sinks, there's always the potential in the process of going for that King Tiger. Angry Dutchman may simply be, you know, putting too much of a freeze on his economy to, like, efficiently fight Tiramisu and could cost him the match. So always a bit of hesitation. Then you definitely need a certain amount of forces to really make a King Tiger store work. So the question is, can he, with a Puma, Panther 4 and a bunch of fights making some of the rest there, successfully store for King Tiger, if that is what he's planning for? And of course, that's the other thing we don't quite know yet. I mean, just getting a Battle Group headquarters eventually for some medics when you don't have it obviously makes sense. That maybe he's not even planning for the King Tiger, obviously. So we'll have to see here. They got less than 300 points left now for Tiramisu. There's an angry Dutchman, 353. East up their fuel points secured. Pretty great there for the angry Dutchman, certainly controlling both fuel points. Could perhaps allow angry Dutchman actually go for the King Tiger stall. That said, he did lose a full support here. Nice kill there for Tiramisu. Whoa, getting a bit too close to the Jackson tank destroyer here. On the other hand, it almost acts as bait for the full minutes, allowing him to nearly get a wipe. Close call there though. East side, we got the fuel pump ready. Could set the Fallschirmjägers a bit in ambush there, I think, with their set up there in ambush, but no, decides not to. Got these paratroops being bombarded here. Boom at the ready. Could do some repairs. There we go, Falcon forming the Ralph squad here, catching a really bad spot. And don't have grenades, meaning they don't really have any way of dealing with Ralph or Falcon inside the building fairly efficiently. The only thing that saves them is the Scott, and the fact is the building's about to collapse. Otherwise, if Fedson just stayed there to wipe the Ralph squad, but if he had, good chance of actually getting wiped himself. But instead, though, he gets a wipe on the paratroopers and even drop a light machine gun. The only good moment here for Tiramisu is then the only thing right now that Angry Dutchman has to pick it up are the Sturmpioniere, because the other units have been upgraded to such a degree they can't pick up that light machine gun. But the Sturmpioneers can. Still, don't think it's going to happen. We got Tiramisu moving the Ralph squad and grab the light machine before Angry Dutchman can sink his teeth into it. Eastern Point machines for the Major, grabbing it back for America, Freedom, Democracy. Still, wiping a paratrooper squad is obviously pretty good there for Angry Dutchman. That's a lot of man-pound munitions down the drain. Meanwhile, his Fallschirmjägers definitely continue to do heavy damage here on Tiramisu's infantry, having a significant impact there. More terrified than the Eastern Victory Point. Back here, they got the Sturmpionier sitting up at the Panther in Westward as well. They could add a pingle-mounted MG-42. And the center Fallschirmjägers at the ready, but they're fairly low and healthy. Like, obviously, they got the ambush bonus, they got a full set of forces. They can do a lot of damage to infantry, but at the same time, just, few stray shots from a Scot could very quickly wipe out his squad. There we go, blend cover there. I think that's allowed to facilitate retreat, but also at the same time, briefly preventing Tiramisu from just beelining for the point there, unless of course once it's meant to suffer incredible amounts of damage. So that was a kind of smart maneuver there by Angry Dutchman versus Tiramisu, and we got a second Scot hit for Tiramisu. Freedom and Democracy. That's definitely going to, I think, force Angry Dutchman to get more aggressive as Tiramisu with his armor to finish off the Scot before they just risk wiping out his units from a distance. There we go, Gebaldeladung opening up here for the Ralph squad being pushed off the Eastern Point. Half 854 on those Fallschirmjägers. They are definitely getting some serious work in there. And serious work in rapidly. Matey here is the Fallschirmjägers. Though, well, it's really only Helmut they're up against. Second Scott armor's done. There you go, Major retreating right past the Fallschirmjägers. Ralph squad moving in there. Quickly landing a kill there on Roger, and there you go. Another unit dead. Whoa, that was close to wiping the Fallschirmjägers. Very close. In the center, Falcon Sport, second Falcon Sport moving up here for Angry Dutchman. In the center, the paratroopers strike for freedom and democracy. Ace level themselves with 12 kills. But as for what Angry Dutchman's planning exports, the question, Gebaldeladung and the paratroopers doesn't end up really doing much damage. And now folks up an assault here on the paratroopers. Unit wipe, that's another full squad wiped out. And again, the Scots are really starting to, apply some serious damage to Angry Dutchman. So he will have to, I think, as either Panther 4 or Jagdpanther to deal with these Scots before they just wipe all of his infantry. I don't think at this stage Stormford King Tiger is going to be safe or feasible, simply because, again, of the sheer amount of DPS here that Scots can lay down. In particular, Peril, they can very much threaten to wipe infantry squads very quickly. So I think just more immediate armor here will be crucial for Angry Dutchman having a chance in this match. So we'll have to see what he actually does. I mean, he could still try and go for the King Tiger, but I would definitely stress, I think there's going to be some extreme risks associated with going for a King Tiger under current circumstances. So we'll have to see what he does, though. There we go, second Panther 4, so no King Tiger stall, at least for now. Very good there for the angry Dutchman. Very smart and very sensible. That said, he still needs to deal with the Scots. He needs to like tactically get into a position we deal with them. He has, I think, in this regard, a few options. Two of the options would be to either then flank from the left or the right, try and catch the Scots from an angle they aren't ready for, but also the majority of Tiramisu's forces aren't. Got to wipe their by, very good. Or he gets a light infantry gun, and then deploys smoke, and then dashes right through the centre when Tiramisu's just stunned by it, and then charges straight for the Scots, destroys them. So he does have options here. The question is, does he actually pick any of those? Or does he just try and like attack into his opponent head on here? We'll have to see.
Enemy forces now have 300 points remaining.
Langraskaya again. Thumbs up.
The supply line just got cut off.
Note the Langraskaya was primarily used as an extra smoke grenade to like clear gaps in larger smoke streams, but also used as a tool to actually force crews out of their tanks because this is some pretty noxious stuff. So, little fun fact there. Quick bang grenade in the rifle squad, but falls a bit too short. They need to retreat the Falcon before they get utterly annihilated. Got a Shamler there for Tiramisu. Finally, an actual tank there from the Americans. And the Panzer IV reaches Vecchi 2. Which for the Orbital Command Vest one, since it has the armoured side skirts on, means it gains an extra bit of accuracy. Ralph's putting the blade out, got tank types up here. I think in part to make it hard for like Angry Dutch to like make a blitzkrieg style assault here at the anti-tank gun, but also just provide more cover for the units around it. East side, if you could see some probing up there, but I definitely think he needs to like launch a large scale flank assault here. And the crucial part is right now, Tiramisu doesn't have like his right flank mined at all. In theory, what he could do is like knock up all the armor here, blitz up here, and then get behind Tiramisu's front line, catch the Scots from where they aren't ready for, and then quickly deal with them, and then deal with the Jackson. And then, as the front line turns around to deal with it, he could then attack from the front with some other units. So, I'd say there are several options here for him to consider. But now, got the anti-tank cleared out there, but will the rest of his forces exploit this, or is he just going to like stare at it? Because so far, when he just finally saw the anti-tank gun there, which got him up for like a push here, he's kind of not following up the infantry fast enough. And there you go, this, oh, narrowly destroyed before Tiramisu could crew. That's really close there. Panzer moving in, but again, overall execution there. Feel like could have done with a bit more speed and coordination still. He did clear the anti-tank guns, obviously not all bad here for the Angry Dutchman, not all bad. He didn't like throw away the Panzer afterwards, but feel like he had maybe a small window of opportunity there to like maybe like exploit the anti-tank being cleared out and like catch Tiramisu off guard. Could add a 5th cal there on the Sherman. I think that'd be a pretty good addition here. We got the Falcon with probably hit Veteran 4. Okay, well, that's a great hit. Got the Sherman on the right flank here. Looks like he's going to try and flank Angry Dutchman on the right side. And we got Angry Dutchman replacing some Vintage losses with another Falcon squad. Now, that is pretty interesting. Most players will, once they start losing their Falcon will typically not look to replace them. As you might notice, for example, Tiramisu yet to replace Paratroop. Angry Dutch going for a 3rd Falcon squad here. A true believer in the power of the Fallschirmjäger. That is definitely a lot of them. I mean, upgrading them and then saving up for like a push with the Angry Assault, I think could be actually quite powerful for the Angry Dutchman, since he could like launch a significant infantry assault backed up with the arm and then destroy Tiramisu perhaps, but instead got the Puma knocked out here. Panzer being pushed back. Falcon squad that's being wiped out. It's also very close to actually 5 meter retreat there. Still, we got 277 to 195. Points are bleeding out there for Tiramisu on the east side of the train, pushing back into Fallschirmjäger. More troops falling back from the centre, and we got a lot of Fallschirmjägers in reinforcements. We need reinforcements and healing here for Angry Dutchman. Of course, one thing that might be holding back Angry Dutchman from committing to a big assault, of course, is the threat of air strafe there. Of course, he's got the Schwerpanzer Schwerpanzer quarters all the way up there, by the way. Or in theory, he could like even go for a flak half track, just like ensure that once he makes the push and the opponent calls in the P-47s, his flak half track could very quickly shoot down his aircraft. So that's like a theoretical option. Consider, of course, most players typically don't consider like going for anti-aircraft half tracks unless they're playing as the Allies. With either like enemy power abilities. Anyways, Panther 4 there, half HP 3 minutes with the Rouse quarter, but the Western victory point. We got 274 versus 165. Tiramisu is back to bleeding out the Angry Dutchman here, along with the Third Reich. Back at base here, troop reinforcing healing. Back at base, reinforcement healing here for the Angry Dutchman. Got 2 full Fallschirmjäger squads here, of course, at the ready. Including the new one. The other one, of course, is near ace level, which gives us some extra bonuses to their ambush ability. In fact, he's got 2 veteran 4 Fallschirmjäger squads now. Route moving forwards there. Bazooka fire deck looking to clear up the sandbags. Match is definitely starting to slow down a bit. We got a Yak Panzer with the Angry Dutchman. I think that's an excellent idea of all the infantry. Now going with the Route Squad. We can see there Tiramisu very quick to back off in the face of Fallschirmjäger ambush, backed up by Panther fortunately firing down this Fallschirmjäger from the Scots. Now, of course, while Fallschirmjäger depicts being heavily equipped with the FT-42s, the FT-42s were in itself a rare weapon that was basically handed out like they were just light machine guns for the squads that mostly might have like 2 FT-42s, and this is what went on. They'd be more commonly equipped with like MG-42s or 34s anyways. Additionally, Fallschirmjägers will also be quick to pick up trophy weapons. In particular, apparently the Sten gun was quite popular with the Fallschirmjägers. Yak Panzer's almost done. Then we got Friedrich there, blown to bits by the double Scots. One of them already ace level. Panther from the west side, there we go. Yak Panzer out here for the Angry Dutchman. Not the most commonly seen Oberkommandist unit here in the 1v1 metagame, or even the 2v2 metagame, to be honest. Northeast Jackson from westwards here, backed up with the Sherman. Sniping at the Scots with the Yak Panzer, first shot though misses. Panther Bazooka team and infantry teams. A lot of reinforcement healing here for the Angry Dutchman. Got the Sherman again, push back the other Fallschirmjäger squad here. So far, the Angry Dutchman is just conceding more and more ground here to Tiramisu. He's being very hesitant. And again, part of it, I suspect, is just due to the P-47 rocket strafe. Again, just the idea you can attack and then it calls in on him, I think is causing Angry Dutchman to play a lot more hesitantly. But again, he could, just try and build a flak half track. Just counter the ability. He's trying to make it hard to use, but well. Good shot from Jackson the Panther 4 here. Second Jackson bomb in for Tiramisu. That's going to be an additional nightmare here for the Angry Dutchman. Had to engage in the Jackson. Good shot there. They could try and double blitz right now and try and take out the Jackson before he can get out another one. Of course, just get away with it. Yak Panther moving up here. Great shot from the Sherman. They're right through the hedges. And the shot definitely do some damage there to the Yak Panzer. Equipped with the same gun as the Panther, the high velocity 700 gun. Fun fact there, Scott at the ready.
Enemy forces are now down to 200 points.
Got 200 versus 165 of the Tiramisu continues to bleed out the Angry Dutchman. There goes Scott, gets way too close here and gets snapped by the Yak Panzer pretty easily. But Tiramisu is able to escape with the Scott before further damage is inflicted upon here by Angry Dutchman's tank destroyer. Or Yak Panzer. Last going bomb grenade and hit with the Panther 4, but there you go. Veteran feeling the Panther 4 bomb grenade whiffs here on Tiramisu's infantry. Reinforcing healing here for the Angry Dutchman. Pairs back at base. I mean, he's got quite the armoured fleet right now. The 2 Scots, 2 Jacksons, and a Sherman versus the 2 Panther Force and Yak Panthers. It's not like Angry Dutchman's without armour at all, got a teensy tiny force, but there is nonetheless a bit of a difference. Plus, of course, Tiramisu has the air support, but then again, so does Angry Dutchman in this point with the airborne assault. So, things get very lively, very quick. But again, I would, it is really concerned about that. I would actually strongly recommend the flak half track. It is fairly good versus enemy aircraft, particularly with a bit of veterancy. Goes from bombarded, Yak Panzer getting hammered. There we go. Finding calls in the air support here against the Angry Dutchman. Need to activate the Schwerpunkt quarters rapidly, and he's calling in his own air support against his opponent. Fallschirmjäger raising in there. Skies are alive now as aircraft swoop in from all sides. German ones that really aren't hitting much meanwhile. So neither are the Americans. Schwerpunktballs, they activated, going to open up the American Jarbos, as the Germans call them, which is short for Jagdbomber or fighter bomber. Falling back here. Good shot there. Almost got the reactions there. Narrowly avoids what? They're really lucky here for Tiramisu. And again, he just just wasted the munitions. I mean, kind of so did Tiramisu, but could you just hold the map then? I don't think it quite end up being worse here than him. And he's also repairing most of his armor now. He's got still plenty to like unleash against the Angry Dutchman. Fighting makes fun runs against Ralph's squad here, but then light cover, they're a bit hard to hit. Got the pen forming and then engaging. Angry Dutchman, I think now that the P-47 is more or less over, needs, I think, switch to the offensive. Like, he needs to, like, look to attack Angry Tiramisu when Angry's not ready, and then look to destroy the Scots and Jackson before Tiramisu can really, like, you know, call in another set of P-47s here. I think to do that, I think Angry Dutchman's a good shot here, but otherwise, I think he's just going to risk getting shot to pieces at range, particularly with the double Jacksons. Fighting makes forwards here, very, very close to the ace level. There we go. There's a hit from the Scots, leaves them discombobulated and forced to retreat. Pentaforming while they're unloading another shell into the American ranks. Back at reinforcing healing. Pentafor very, very close to defense too. Fult's going to move forwards. Another shot from the Pentafor. The one good to go here. In the east side, we got the double Jackson support here for Tiramisu. Halfway to 50 feet. Other one not quite there. Pentafor being engaged with the Jackson straight through the sidearm there. A punishing blow here. Angry Dutchman's Panther 4, Model J. Another shot there though, misses as it goes just below the radar there and gets, oh, great hit on the paratroopers, leaves several of them quite dead in the dirt. A stinging blow to freedom. But still, Tiramisu maintains the offensive. He's still got more armor. He's got multiple tank destroyers, Scots and a Sherman. Those infantry complement is looking less strong, but Angry Dutchman's not pushing, I think, his infantry particularly hard to really make up for this. We got smoke bombs unleashed though, not bad, but can Angry Dutchman make use of it? Can he launch a successful assault now against Tiramisu and like deliver a crippling blow here to the Americans? Fighting's fought there. We got two now ace level squads here ripping through the Americans. We got the Panther 4 stopping up from the Jackson. We lack speed here, I think, from Angry Dutchman assault here, making it pretty easy for the Jackson to just line up 3 shots on the Panzers and prevent the assault from being going off in the first place. So this is not, I think, quite gaining enough ground here for Angry Dutchman fast enough to really matter. And we got Tiramisu with a 3rd Jackson tank destroyer. And like Kedma crew there got exterminated like rats here by the Scots. They continue with an incredibly cruel kill tally here against the Angry Dutchman. Got the Falcon then pumping up there from ambush with ace level far there. Paratroopers being pretty much annihilated. We got a grenade on. He actually kind of walks into losing 2 squad members here to the paratroopers grenade. 30 kills on those guys. Fult's going to send a wipe there. He's down to just Fallschirmjägers and Sturmpioneer. And he narrowly avoids losing one of his ace Fallschirmjäger squads. But the odds at this point looking particularly harrowingly grim here for the Angry Dutchman. His force have been bled out and Tiramisu is just slowly picking them apart here. Angry Dutchman needs to seize the initiative, he needs to go on the offensive, he needs to like deliver some crushing blows here to Tiramisu's armored force. Yet Angry Dutchman continues to dance about here like a drunk manatee and refuses to like, you know, push the offensive. He refuses to seize the Blitzkrieg. Jackson charging the Panther 4 and the Yak Panzers have a mistake here by Tiramisu perhaps, but that said, doesn't matter as Angry Dutchman forces are not in position to really punish this. And the Yak Panzer does survive here fairly well, but again, could have charged from the Panther 4. They're blitzed in, taking care of the Jackson, then we can hunt it down. The other one, he blocked the retreat path, but at the end, doesn't quite do that. Allowing both Jack get away the relative safety. Another Scot there, bombarding and blasting here. Angry Dutchman there. Jackson will be caught here repairing. Good shot there. Vedson before the Yak Panther 4 there, but it is quickly forced back here with the Jackson. Now we got 3 Jacksons for Tiramisu. 3 of them, plus a Scot, or 2 Scots, and a Sherman. That is a humongous armored force here. Like, the odds are really stacked against the Angry Dutchman right now. And tactically, he's not, I think, really satisfying the requirements to, like, you know, turn around these odds. I mean, Sen doesn't help the team. He's just playing them like a big death ball of armor, which makes it overall very difficult in the first place to deal with it. But at the same time, when it comes to these things, your kind of job is to make sure it doesn't get that far in the first place. And by now, he's also meant to bring in another P-47 rocket strip ready, lined up, so it becomes even further difficult now for, like, Angry Dutch, like, deliver any significant blows here to Tiramisu. So, it's going to be a tough one here for Angry Dutch, and it's going to be incredibly tough. Not impossible, but you're going to have to, like, you know, be an absolute tactical genius. In the most literal sense to turn this around, I think. Like the sort of guy they're going to, like, you know, do lectures about you on at military academies across the world. Ralph's got the pummeled here with the Falcon. His Panther taking another hit from the Jackson. Double Scots flying away there. Falcon in the centre there fighting this Ralph squad. The Scots keep bombarding. Gotta wipe then Tiramisu though. That's a small win. Yak Panther getting into that gets a decent shot on the Scot here. His armor still need repairs here. Another cannon there for the Angry Dutchman. Falcon makes being ripped apart. Honestly, I think you should just go for more armor at this point rather than keeping like a second Yak Panther. Even that Panther in more sense than a cannon there. Of course, the Scots can rip that apart. There you go. Jackson with the Shem on the move here. Need to hit hard with the Panther Force. I think from an angle they don't expect, like, for example, left side there. Got support called in. And need to activate the Schwer Panther called as Schnell. Charging on the Panther Force. Need to blitz. We got Vetchly found one of them. Yak Panther almost knocked out here. Almost got one of the Jacksons. There we go. But the Yak Panther combust as well. We got the KNF out here. Angry Dutch almost got another Jackson. There we go. But the escort still raining down death here. The Schwer Panther called is active. Panther Force is down to half health. Got another Jackson. All of Tiramisu's tank destroyers are gone. He's down to just a Sherman and a bunch of Scots and a bit of infantry. Now is the opportunity for Angry Dutchman to charge forward for Deutschland, maybe. But can he seize the opportunity? And there you go. He loses the Ace Panther 4 here to enemy air support here. He's got one veteran fleet Panther 4 left. His Fallschirmjägers are back at base, not doing much other than desperate need reinforcements here. A crushing blow to the Angry Dutchman, of course, not that much cost for Tiramisu either, but he's overall in a better position to exploit this, whereas Angry Dutchman remains very much in the back foot and cannot actually exploit all these losses. I mean, again, had he just gone for anything else than the Kedmev, he could have probably, like, pushed hard against Tiramisu at this stage. But the Kedmev just can't help him push under these current circumstances. Of course, he will try. Charging forward with the Ace Falcon back with the Kedmev, a good shot here on the Scot. Falcons, of course, are being ripped apart by a Scot fire here. Just self-propelled artillery doing nasty things. And there we go. Sherman lights up the last Panther 4 and Angry Dutchman's command. And like him, they're getting wiped by the Scots. Another reason, again, to go for something besides like Kevin out here, because the Scots can, at this point, very accurately just utterly annihilate them. Fox quarterback go wiped, and I think at this point it is safe to say it is GG of the Angry Dutch. There's again a sliver of hope here. Glimmer. A small opportunity, but sadly, he kind of, I think, inadvertently threw away that chance here versus Tiramisu. At this point, I think waiting for the game to realise that Angry Dutchman has left. So just a few more moments to go, and GG, game over. A loss here for Angry Dutchman, a close fight at times, but ultimately, I feel like a few tactical issues here for Angry Dutchman ultimately cost them the fight, and allowed Tiramisu to gain the overall upper hand here with some pretty aggressive strategy there. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gives you matches. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Support the Propagandacast if you like it. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.